You guys hear me?
Yeah. Would you mind cranking the old volume on that, Johnson?
Consider
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another rendition of the Bros and the Berg podcast. We appreciate you if you are a returning listener for tuning back in. And if you somehow found this podcast over the hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there and this is your first time, we appreciate you tuning in. My name is Ryan Doyle. I'm the most handsome co-host on this here show. I'm joined by my other co-host, Mr. Robert Bergstone, who just celebrated his 26th birthday. Shout out to Robbie. And the man in the glasses, the no hat, the college dorm room. That is my younger brother, Connor Doyle, the executive producer and the glue that keeps his podcast going. So, Connor, thank you for having us on today. I know we got an action-packed schedule.
As always.
Lots of things to talk about, lots of things to bitch about, lots of bad takes to provide our viewers and listeners to, all dozens of them. But
a full hour and a half of bad takes coming at you now.
That's
our specialty.
Right now. If you want to see our beautiful faces while we do this, catch us over on YouTube if you're listening on Spotify, or vice versa. If you're if you're more of a Spotify platform user, we're over there as well.
We're also on video on Spotify.
This is true. Because sometimes I'm too lazy to export them separately. And,
That's crazy.
That does go crazy.
That's wild. Anyways, Connor, what is our first category topic of this evening?
Well, I think we just have to start with the NBA playoffs. We're in the mid swing of them. We do have some completions within the first round already. We have had a sweep and we have had a gentleman sweep. So we're going to go down the list here and talk about some of these series. So, gentlemen, I'm going to talk about the first team that was eliminated from playoff contention. That would be the Phoenix Suns getting swept by the Minnesota Timberwolves, 4-0.
Hilarious. I mean, there's just no other way to put it.
And Kevin Durant is Anthony Edwards' son now?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Booker now has two fathers. I don't know if you heard the latest news on that. Bradley Beal's a bum. I don't think this shocks a lot of people. I think that's probably the most reasonable thing that's come out of this series.
I feel like a lot of people saw that coming. When they're like, oh, they got Bradley Beal. That's the piece they were missing. Like, was it?
You got three dudes that all play relatively similar kinds of basketball, and nobody to actually be a floor general for that team. And then they all taking plays off on defense and whatnot.
They all want the ball in their hands, but none of them are going to move it around.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, Devin Booker trying his best in the last ditch effort in Game 4 with a 49-point performance. But yeah, Bradley Beal 4 for 13 with 9 points is not a good look for an elimination game.
No, sir.
Are they blowing it up? I mean, what do you do if you're the Phoenix Suns? I don't think you have a lot of money laying around to improve the team. No picks.
KD's 35. He's gone. You got to imagine, right? First round sweep.
Where's he go? What's his con? I don't know what his contract is.
He's gonna team up with LeBron. What do you mean?
That'd be crazy. That'd be kind of crazy.
That would be well. That would sell tickets.
Did you see Come to Charlotte. Come to Charlotte.
Speaking of LeBron, thank you for that segue, Robbie. The other team that has been eliminated from playoff contention is the Los Angeles Lakers in a gentleman's sweep. The Denver Nuggets beating them 4 games 2-1 in a tight last game for
Jamal Murray is also now LeBron James' father.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Fun fact about this game or series: Lakers leading at halftime in all 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
They've
lost on 2 separate buzzer beaters by Jamal Murray.
Absolutely disheartening way to lose. Like you say, in 5 Nuggets had their number or was smoking. No, these were all very, very good games.
But they do have their number. I think the Nuggets have won 9 of the last 10 against the Lakers or something like that. They do have their number for some reason.
It's not like the Lakers got dog walk though.
No,
each game was super competitive.
Mm-hmm. Moving on here to the next series, of course, our hometown Dallas Mavericks versus the Los Angeles Clippers. It is currently tied 2-2. Russell Westbrook, I hate you. That's all I'll say about that.
Washed.
It's a rock fight right now in that series. It's just a little bit of back and forth.
It's really interesting. Mavs are down Game 4, down by 31, tied for it would have been tied for the biggest comeback of all time. They take the lead in 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter and just fucking piss it away.
For real.
Mavs are 2-0 when Kawhi plays, 0-2 when he doesn't.
For real.
Luka's now dealing with a knee sprain because he definitely didn't look himself in the second half of Game 4. I was very confident going into Game 4 about the Mavs. I thought the Mavs could potentially do it in 5. Now it's definitely going 7 at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Kawhi Leonard's been ruled out for this next game too, so he's out. So we're gonna lose.
So we're gonna lose. Got it.
Is Kawhi still load managing? What is? Yeah. I mean, we're in the playoffs, bro. What are we doing?
He forgot that this is the part of the season where he's not supposed to load manage.
Bro is still load managing. That's crazy,
dude. Ryan, I know you hate him, but like, can we?
Pete.
Paul George, dude, he has been hooping. Like,
yeah. Well, also Harden, dude. But the Mavericks not giving the lane for free. Here, floater.
Just because I've been obviously keeping an eye on the series the most. A few comments here. I talked about hating Russell Westbrook earlier. This is the kind of comment I'll make about him. Russell Westbrook is washed and plays like he's annoyed that he's washed. That is now how he plays basketball.
Great take. The only kind of takes that you will get on this podcast.
At what point will Russell Westbrook just become Pat Bev that used to be good?
Already is.
He's headed that way.
He doesn't play as good at defense.
Yeah, for real.
But he's just a nuisance. Like he's just he's
dude,
just a nuisance.
No, I literally said, dude, we were watching the end of the game and there was like 30 seconds left away, and at that point it was still relatively close. And Ty Lue put Westbrook back on the floor, and I literally said, why would you put Westbrook on the floor? He doesn't provide anything for you in this last stretch.
He's doing the Draymond goon role. Like he just like someone has to be out there just to annoy the piss out of you, and that's the role he's filling right now.
Well, also he likes bricking corner threes. He's really good at that. I'm like, let him shoot open threes. Like he's like sub 20%. Please.
He's never been a great 3-point shooter in the first place.
And now he just hucks him up now that he's washed because he can't get to the rim.
Yeah.
I also do not understand Jason Kidd's game plan to just give James Harden. James Harden isn't completely washed yet. To just give James Harden the lane every single time.
So
and we don't help.
Did I miss something was like Gafford or rookie? God, I just blanked on his name.
Derek Lively.
Yeah. Were our two best like rim protectors like foul trouble hurt? Like why is Kleba in there? Is it just for like the switches?
I guess. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know.
I would so much rather have Gafford in for those last 2 minutes and 100%. Actually like pressure the lane.
They might have been in foul trouble. I don't remember. But yeah, it was just like because they don't help until he's way too deep in the paint. James Harden can still make floaters. Like he's still an NBA player. I just don't understand why we give him the lane every single time and don't help. It's so frustrating.
Those last 2 minutes were a Jason Kidd masterclass.
And I don't think that's PJ Washington's fault because he's obviously being instructed to bring him to the lane, but nobody is helping. And I'm like, what? So what's the game plan when he gets into the lane? We're just like, okay, give him a floater. He's going to make that 9 times out of 10. Like, I just do not understand what the plan is there. Sorry for my Mavericks rant.
We're bitching. Rob, anything about the Hornets playoffs for the Hornets?
Oh,
I haven't seen anything, but if you have some headlines, let me know.
That's good. All right, going on to the next series here. The Boston Celtics are currently up 3-1 against the Miami Heat.
We got some injury reports coming out for the rest of this series. I know Jared Allen's ruled. He's for the Cavs. It was more of Kristaps Porzingis. He's out for the remainder of this series.
It doesn't matter, to be honest. Just to be completely frank, I don't think I'm pretty surprised that he got one.
Yeah, with no Jimmy too.
Jimmy, exactly. So
this was kind of a foregone. I'm shocked. Yeah, exactly. To your point, shocked that they got one. Yeah, it's kind of a foregone conclusion. But I mean,
it's a little disrespectful to Spoelstra, probably. But
right.
God, but what does he have to work with? Like other than Bam, it's just not much of a.
Tyler Hero, watch your mouth.
What?
He's not like Jimmy level.
No, but he's got a whole song about him. So.
Yeah, literally.
Oh yeah, Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys would agree, but like the Celtics for me are one of the best regular season teams I've seen in a long time. And granted, that's a lot due to the fact that none of them got injured the entire season, which is like insane for an NBA team.
It is probably like a top 5 regular season team I've seen in the past 2 decades.
Yeah,
I mean, it feels like we're on for a Nuggets Celtics collision course.
Which would be good. That would be a good series.
It'd be a great series.
Yeah, it would be a good series. Very interesting. Currently, so we'll go over two games that are currently happening. The 76ers and the Knicks are currently in overtime. The Sixers currently trying not to lose the series. They are currently down 3-1 to the New York Knicks.
Once again, the 76ers experiment still doesn't work. They suck. They're just not great. Jalen Brunson also, on the flip side, is him. I mean, he is legitimately him. 36 points tonight on the Sixers, had 47 in game 4 or something ridiculous. It's crazy what Brunson has done.
Monthly Mavericks fan reminder that if we extended him 4 years, it was like $60 million. He would have
taken it. Yeah,
he said he would have taken it.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Good thinking ahead.
Shout out to the front office.
Speaking of another series that is currently in the midst of a game, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic are currently tied 2-2.
Been a great series, to be honest. It's been a great series.
I have been thinking about kind of the regular season awards, and we didn't really go over them. But I mean, so like the Coach of the Year awards, the two of the coaches that are up it's the Thunder coach and then the Magic coach, and I'm like, dude, I'm leaning to give it to the Magic coach because they were so bad last year.
Yeah.
They were so bad. And like OKC is obviously way ahead of schedule. They had no business being in the first seed in the Western Conference. It's pretty crazy they played that well. But like the Magic were atrocious last year. So it's like,
I didn't have the Magic on my radar of like
no
being a team that would somewhat compete for like the Eastern Conference. I mean, Ben Charo has been really, really good. And like they've just played like you couldn't name like I could not name the Magic starting 5 if you held a gun to my head, but like,
you want to try?
No. Can you get anyone outside of Paolo?
No.
Yikes.
Is Markelle Fultz still like starting? Does he start for them anymore?
No, he's not. He doesn't start anymore.
Cool.
He's on the bench. He plays off the bench though. Here, I'll give it to you real quick, Ryan. Pause. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Gary Harris, and Jalen Suggs.
You probably should have gotten Suggs. All of the other ones, I don't think I know that Franz was there or that who's the third name you said?
Wendell Carter Jr.
Don't think I knew Wendell Carter Jr. was there either.
Isn't Gary Harris kind of old now? He's 29. I thought he was older. I thought he was older than that. He's only 29. Yeah, that is a good series. But like for me personally, I don't see either of those teams going past the first round. I mean, going past, I guess, the second round. But yeah.
Well, maybe if they get a certain team that's up 3-1 in the series right now as an underdog.
Thank you for the additional segue, Robbie.
You're welcome.
Onto our last playoff matchup. Currently, they just tipped off their game. The Indiana Pacers are leading the Milwaukee Bucks 3-1, and they were playing Game 5 currently.
Can I just give myself some pats on the back here?
Pats on the back for the kid.
Don't remember last podcast, but I said if Giannis missed more than 2 games, the Pacers would win the series.
He did call this.
We're in a good spot for that call. So
Robbie from the logo.
You think Damian Lillard is cursed?
Dame time is.
I do think they win this series with Giannis probably.
100%.
No, I mean Dame is a great player, but I do think to go deep in the playoffs. I mean, they made the Western Conference Finals once while he was in Portland. I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think he needs someone else because his defense is going to be a liability. So he needs that other superstar with him to kind of lift that up a little bit.
I mean, like they don't have Lillard or Giannis tonight. Like it's a foregone conclusion. Pat Bev is starting at the 1. So
did you forget about playing Pat Bev last year? We're just gonna forget about
in Pat Bev,
brother. I'm gonna be transparent with you. I might have.
No, it's disrespectful.
Chris Middleton's gonna need a 50 piece for the Bucks.
Dude, he's done it before. He's done it before. Playing Pat Bev. Sorry, that was really funny. All right, moving on here from the NBA playoffs, unless you gentlemen have anything. 3-time WNBA champion and 2-time Olympic gold medalist Candace Parker announced Sunday that she is retiring after 16 seasons, a legitimate legend in terms of the WNBA. They got like a lot of the social media teams from different WNBA teams got reactions, and a lot of the incoming rookies and stuff were pretty shocked at this announcement. People think she might be ducking Caitlin Clark. That's a joke.
Oh, no, I heard that. She said that in the press conference.
Yeah. So, no, congratulations to her on a very successful career. And hope she enjoys retirement. So we're going to swing it now to Robbie for the NHL playoffs.
Of course. We're in a very similar position to the NBA playoffs. We've had one sweep and one gentleman sweep to finish up so far. A lot of series still going on. The sweep being New York Rangers taking out the Washington Capitals in 4 games.
Saw that coming.
Not a big surprise to anyone.
Yeah.
Rangers, obviously the President's Cup winner, very good team. Capitals at the very end of their championship window, obviously won not too long ago, but Ovi's getting up there. The rest of the cast is getting up there. Shocking they made the playoffs in the first place, so good for them, but not super surprising. And a somewhat surprising gentleman sweep, the Florida Panthers taking out the Tampa Bay Lightning in 5 games. Obviously, the Lightning probably with the most playoff experience of any NHL team currently. They had actually never lost to the Panthers in a playoff series prior to this either in the Battle of Florida. So
I think they got boat raced in Game 5. It was ugly.
So big win for the Panthers. There are 2 games playing right now. I'm watching another one on my other screen, which is why I'm not completely dialed in. I apologize. We have the Maple Leafs and Bruins headed to overtime. Maple Leafs trying to stave off elimination. It's tied 1-1 there with the Bruins up 3-1 in the series. The Hurricanes, the Islanders are playing right now. This is the only sport that I can enjoy these days in terms of professional sports. Hurricanes just scored 2 goals in 8 seconds to go up 5-3 with about 13 minutes left in the third period. So looking okay for the Canes right now. Got to close them out, but in good shape there.
Leafs are definitely going to lose in overtime. It's just the curse of Toronto Maple Leafs. So.
But I mean, hear me out. They win this in Boston, go back to Toronto, maybe get Game 6 and send this back to 7 at the Garden. And then lose, and then lose.
Hockey sickos.
Yeah, the hockey sickos need this to go to 7 and have the Leafs lose in 7. That's everyone's praying for that for sure.
The Leafs cope.
2 more games tonight. The Avalanche at the Jets. Avalanche are up 3-1 the series after the Jets won the first game. So looking at a little reverse sweep there from the Avalanche. And then we have the Predators at the Canucks. The Canucks are up 3-1 in that series. I think there's a pretty good chance they close this out at home. In this game, Predators were probably the hottest team coming into the NHL playoffs, but the Canucks are very, very good this year. Other series going on. These 2 fellows are watching one of them closely. I also have the hat on just to make them mad. The Las Vegas Golden Knights and Dallas Stars tied 2-2 headed back to Dallas tomorrow night.
Home teams can't win games.
Apparently.
Dude, that's like a Texas thing this past year, apparently, with the Rangers.
Yeah, the Rangers
Astros
too.
thing.
Or unconscious on the road.
Yeah, for real.
We have the Oilers up 3-1 on the Kings. Oilers, most explosive offense in the NHL. Kings, one of the best defensive teams. Appears to be going towards the offense in that one. And that is our roundup for the NHL playoffs. Real quick, I don't think any of us have a deep dive into anything in particular. I don't know how much you guys have been watching. I've been watching the Hurricanes games, but that's pretty much it, to be honest.
Been watching the Stars. We
Hurricanes had a crazy
Game 3.
Yeah,
we potentially should have gone down 3-0.
Yeah, Canes also stole Game 2 from the Islanders. They were down 3-0 late in the second period, scored and then rallied and won like 5-3. I think it was insane.
Yeah. Mavs Stars both play tomorrow. One's at like 7, one's at 10. Love a 10 p.m. puck drop.
Yeah, you're just not sleeping tomorrow.
Is the Mavs that play?
Probably the Mavs because they're playing.
The Mavs play on Wednesday. Yeah, they play tomorrow. Yeah.
10 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Gonna start a shotgun.
You get to stay up till midnight and watch Russell Westbrook just beat up Luka Doncic. It's gonna be awesome.
I fucking hate the Clippers. I hate the Clippers.
With a passion.
Fuck. Why do you hate the Clippers, Ryan?
Kawhi needs to get off that team.
I really like Kawhi.
He's the only one that I tolerate, and everyone else is a bunch of pussies. I hate Zubac too.
I like Zubac.
What's wrong with Zubac? What?
Yeah,
I don't like him.
Well, but
something about his touch around the rim,
dude. In Kawhi's
pause.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, in Kawhi's case, though, I'll be real. Who wants him? With his age and the injuries and
hear me out. LeBron, KD, Kawhi. Let's fucking run it.
Again, that to our point about the current Clippers, that would have been great.
Listen, that team could still make a run.
I agree, 100%. No, I totally agree with that. All right, thank you, Robbie, for doing the NHL roundup for us. I got one baseball headline, and then we're going to swing it over to Ryan for the MLB standings. Angel superstar Mike Trout, who was hoping for a fully healthy season after being significantly limited by injury the past 3 years, needs knee surgery. So unfortunately, the Angels once again are without their star.
Ryan and I were just talking about it. Trout's injury luck lately has just been
awful,
horrid. I mean, he's off to a great start this year too. I know at one point he was leading the bigs and homers for a little bit. I don't know if he's still up there, but just seemed like he was
old, man.
Seemed like he was back, and he's gonna get back to that Mike Trout level and just Can't stay healthy.
Yep.
Angels hadn't had a postseason game since 2011, maybe. They haven't won a playoff series since 2009. It's been like a decade since they've been in a playoff
Trout
game.
has never won a playoff series.
No,
That's crazy.
God Almighty.
That is crazy.
and he's considered like a Mount Rushmore baseball player without any postseason success.
He's one of the most
insane.
talented baseball players ever, probably.
Yeah.
And the Angels have just absolutely failed on every level to surround him with.
I cannot believe he stayed there. I truly cannot believe he stayed there for that.
Let's not forget they had Shohei Ohtani for a couple years in that period too. It's just absolute incompetence.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
No,
two like best players in baseball.
Two generational players in baseball, and you can't even win a playoffs or even make the playoffs.
They got nothing.
It's just
correct.
On that note, we're going to swing it over to Ryan for a little bit of the MLB season update.
Appreciate it, Connor. We're going to start, as we always do in the American League, the best league. Over to the AL East, usually one of baseball's most competitive divisions, and this year is going to be no different. Currently, the Baltimore Orioles are holding a slim one-game lead over the Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Rays in that order. Whole division top to bottom separated by about 5.5 games. Guardians start off to a real hot start, sitting at 19-9 to lead the Central. At the basement of the Central, everyone knows them and loves them. The Chicago White Sox sitting at 6-23. The tank is on.
We got to mention the Kansas City Royals leading that division for a couple weeks there and actually sitting at 18-3, which I think is a surprise to most people.
They were at 18-3.
18-13. Sorry,
I was about to say, like, what?
That's on me.
They did not lose 10 straight. Minnesota Twins started off real slow, but they're actually 9-1 in their last 10, sitting at 15-13. Rob wins.
I was at one of those. Go Twins.
Throw it out west, the AL West, pretty tight division right now. Mariners are holding a one-game lead over the Texas Rangers, who are currently playing the Nats tonight.
When you get to last place, you say really slow for me so I can enjoy it.
Yeah. So, contrary to popular belief, the Oakland Athletics are not in last place in the AL West. Hell, they're not even in fourth place.
That's shocking.
West. They're sitting at third, only 4 games under 500, and all their fans are ecstatic to be there. Fourth, we have the Angels, who normally that's kind of where they sit around, but in fifth place, haven't won 10 games yet. That would be your coping Houston Astros, sitting at 9-19.
Just brings joy to everyone's heart that's not an Astros fan.
Correct. They're cheaters. Generations
sorry,
will hate them. That felt good. All right, throwing it out to the NL. In the NL East, no shock here. The Braves are leading the division, sitting at 19-8. The rest of the division, besides the Phillies, kind of blows. Mets, Nationals, Marlins all suck.
Mets,
they will continue to suck. Out in the Central Division, which I think is going to be a really sleeper strong division this year. You got the Brewers sitting at 17-11, tied at the Cubs at 18-12. The Pirates are bringing up the rear. They're only 2 games under 500. So that's going to be a division, I think, to watch this whole year. Very competitive. Dodgers sitting at the top of the division for the NL West, 19-12. Rockies at the bottom of that, sucking, already 11 games back, 7-22.
Dodgers are going to run away with that division again.
Correct.
Because the Padres simply cannot remove their heads from their asses. I don't get it.
I know
they traded away some pieces this offseason, but
Diamondbacks were a lightning strikes once type thing. They might make a wild card if they get hot at the right time, but I can't see them making it back. So yeah, that's our quick little baseball update. Lots of baseball to be played. We're about, call it 30 games into the 162 game season, not even 20% through. So yeah, we'll be when we're doing the podcast in May, June, July, we'll have tons of baseball coverage because that's the dog days of North American sports. We'll start talking about Premier League and cricket and shit, but
we can get into Premier League.
Yeah,
I think we should all choose a team that we want in the Premier League. I already have mine picked out.
I've already got a team.
Who's your team, Connor?
I'm a Chelsea guy.
Fuck you. Mainstream.
I've had this forever. I've always been a Chelsea guy.
Nah.
I'm a big.
It's all about
Chelsea
the
man.
Brentford Bees, man. We know this.
We know ass. All right, moving on. Thank you for doing
Correct.
that. Thank you for that, Ryan. We're going to move on here. Quick little headline that just caught my interest and will definitely kind of change the landscape of this sport that we're talking about. The leaders of college sports are involved in quote-unquote deep discussions to reach a legal settlement that would likely lay out the framework for sharing revenue with athletes in a future NCAA business model. The NCAA and its power conferences are defendants in an antitrust class action lawsuit, House versus NCAA, which argues that the association is breaking federal law by placing any restrictions on how athletes make money from selling the rights to their name, image, or likeness. The case is scheduled to go to court in January 2025. If the plaintiffs win at trial, the NCAA and its schools could be liable to pay more than $4 billion in damages, which has motivated many leaders across the industry to seek a settlement.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is good for the players, right? But at what point do we just call this the minor league football? I mean, that's where we're headed, and I think that's where both the SEC and the Big Ten want it to head. They have the sport of college football,
by the
for lack of a better term, by their nutsack right now.
Yeah.
I mean, just absolutely like have a grasp on it, and I mean, I think this is what they want, and they know that as this goes along and players can make more money, like that only helps the bigger schools, which kind of sucks. But I think for the players, like they absolutely should be making money off their name, image, likeness. Obviously, they're doing that, but they're also making these schools so much money and not seeing a dime of it. And it probably does violate antitrust big time. So it would be very curious to see how this plays out, but I'm sure that they will reach a settlement of some kind.
Next thing here, UAB football players say their entire roster has signed up for athletes.org, making them the first Division I football team to publicly join the Players Association. So I had to throw the
UAB is always just keeping themselves in college football news, man. I love it.
They got to compete with Alabama and Auburn. It's a little bit difficult in that state.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, we are going to play a quick game, and then we're going to get into our kind of NFL section of the podcast, because the NFL draft did happen this past week, and we do need to discuss it a little bit. So I have 5 agree or disagree sentences. And they are all NBA related. Some of them playoffs, some of them kind of outside of playoffs. So you're basically, I'm going to say the statement and you're going to say agree, disagree, and we'll discuss on why we believe those things. The first thing I have here is that Luka Doncic will have a 50-point game against the Clippers at some point.
Disagree.
I'm going to disagree because of the knee.
Correct.
Okay. I think if he's healthy, maybe I could see him going off for 50 in a game 7.
If you had said that about Kyrie, I'd be more inclined to agree, because Kyrie's that man,
he's been hooping for us.
That man hoops.
Christ. Like, I honest to God think he's kind of found his home in Dallas. I think Dallas, because like I feel like in every other team that he's been in, at least by the end of the first year, you've heard some sort of report where he's like not happy in the locker room, or maybe outside of Cleveland, because obviously that's what his first team, and it wasn't until LeBron got there that kind of started happening. But like I haven't heard anything from a negative perspective.
You watch him, like when they pan to him on the bench, he's so involved.
He looks like he's having fun.
In all the conversations, like he never looks like really stressed out. Like
no,
people like really do like him because he's not been a head case.
Yeah,
it's been fun to watch, and like Luka's not afraid to give him the keys.
No.
I feel like that's one of the things that's always been a positive for the Mavs is just the culture around the team. Like I feel like that's very much so been the case, even since Rick Carlisle was there, going back, to the championship years. Like the culture has always been fantastic, and I think Kyrie has found a home within that.
Yeah, which is it's cool to see, especially because we need him to be happy so he plays well.
Correct.
So the next statement I have, we kind of discussed it already. Agree or disagree? The Phoenix Suns will blow it up.
Agree.
Yep.
I think you have to. I mean, I don't really know what you do because you have no draft capital and no cap space.
I mean, they're going to be bad. I mean, they're going to be bad for years now.
Yeah. It's a pretty rough situation. The next one here, the Clippers will blow it up if they lose this series.
I think they run it back one more.
I think they do
so.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, so next year, you think one more
solid
year?
rotation piece, because they're not paying any of those guys a lot, are they? Aren't a lot of them on like lower vet contracts?
Westbrook's definitely. I mean, not that Westbrook is integral, but
they're probably Paul George and Kawhi are getting paid. The rest of them are. I would imagine the contracts are not horrible, actually.
I would be interested in seeing what Harden's is currently.
Right.
I feel like Harden's could be not great, to be totally honest. So
I'm going to look that. They're 27th in cap space. Leonard's getting that big money. Leonard's on the 49 mil. PG's still on a max deal too.
Yikes.
Where the hell is?
Quick update for the hockey sickos. The Maple Leafs did win tonight, so when you're listening to this, they'll probably be headed to Toronto for Game 6.
Also, 76ers won. They weathered the storm for the
Wow.
Knicks. Yeah,
Okay.
pulled it out.
Teams hanging on.
Yeah, for real. That's pretty crazy. All right.
I'm sorry. I'm looking. Harden. I'm confused. What Harden has? Oh, he's got like Berg rules. Yeah, that's right. Like their cap holds and stuff. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
their cap situation looks a little tricky.
Never mind, they're cooked.
Yeah, they are. In fact, they are in fact cooked.
They might be cooked. All right. So the next statement I have, I'd be okay with any of the 3 MVP candidates winning the award.
We're talking about
Luka,
Shea and
Jokic,
Jokic.
Shea.
I know Connor disagrees, but I would agree. I think they've all had great seasons.
Yeah.
Especially Luka and Jokic. I mean, for sure, either of them are deserving. I think Shea, though, I mean, on a team that no one expected won the number 1, seed in the West. They played very well. He's the best player on the team. Obviously, he has a great supporting cast as well. But I mean, I think you can definitely sit there and say he had a great season on a great team, and that's generally what it takes to win MVP these days. So
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, I'd be upset, but I wouldn't be like annoyed or I don't know how to describe it.
You wouldn't feel like necessarily anyone got completely hosed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, obviously I very much want Luka to win, but I feel like, it's not going to be it's not going to be blasphemous if the other 2 guys win. The last one I have here for you gentlemen, LeBron James is retiring.
Disagree. He's so close. He's so close to Bronny being like, I don't think Bronny comes out this year.
No.
Let's just make that clear. I think he goes back to school.
Yeah.
But he's so close, and he's always said he wants to play with his son.
I mean, he's still open.
I don't think he'll be with the Lakers next year.
I
think that man wants to get as far away from Darvin Ham as possible, which I can't say I necessarily play.
Have you seen the guy on TikTok that he's like really knowledgeable about basketball, but basically he watches, it's mostly he gets the most views on the Lakers games because he's just screaming at Darvin Ham the entire time. But he goes like play by play and he's like, "This is all coaching." It's so funny. He's screaming at Darvin Ham.
Yeah, and especially with Bronny obviously no longer being at USC as well, because Andy Enfield left. I could see LeBron moving. I think there's a decent chance that LeBron has a new home next year. Where that is, I have no idea. But
I mean, he can come be three in Dallas,
New York.
Oof.
If he wants that big market, he doesn't want to be in LA.
What is Randall's contract?
I have no idea if they have the space for LeBron. But that was just one of the first teams that came to mind. Because I feel like the Knicks are always in for any superstar. They want to be at least, but
that's it. I mean, it's an interesting proposition.
Looking at the Knicks cap space, they're 16th in cap space.
The cap is all bullshit anyways, so it doesn't matter. It's not as the NBA is not as bad as the NFL because the NFL cap is actually just a myth. Like there's no cap limit in the NFL.
Yeah.
But yeah, they can find ways around that.
All right, we are going to move on from that agree or disagree segment, and we have to talk about the primary news from last week, that being the NFL draft. We are going to discuss some of the picks and the fact that 6 quarterbacks were taken in the first 12 picks, which is kind of, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the pick. Obviously, number 1 off the board, to nobody's surprise, Caleb Williams, quarterback from USC. It does end up on the Chicago Bears. It's funny to me. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember months ago that there being numerous reports where basically Caleb Williams was like doing everything he could to not land in Chicago, and them trying.
People say every year there's number 1 quarterback that's going to a team that has historically not had success in the quarterback position. That always happens. It only ever worked out one time. That's for Eli Manning, but yeah, I mean, but then he came out and he said, that's not true. Like, whoever takes me, I'll be happy to be there, which obviously he has to say.
Yeah, of course.
But I just don't fully buy into that. Does he want to go to Chicago? Probably not. But, like,
they did make the team better. Like, Keenan Allen, and they got some pieces around him.
The offense is going to be nice, assuming the offensive line can hold up. The offense is going to be pretty nice.
Did you hear the interview with Odunze with, like, the Chicago Bears, like, radio announcers?
No. I've only seen Keon Coleman interviews.
Bro, they had him on the horn, and they were like, "You want to take a guess who's the all-time like Bears leading receiver for yards?" And he's like, oh, "Man, I don't know. They hadn't had a lot of guys there. Like maybe Brandon Marshall." He's like, "That's a good guess, dude." It was some guy from the 50s or 60s, and the all-time career leading receiver for the Bears, yards-wise, 5,000 yards. That's the leading receiver all time for
That's
that fucking
nuts.
They've never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards in a season.
They're such a poverty franchise. They have 185 Bears defense, and that is it.
Bears.
Other than that, they are like probably one of the worst long-standing teams in the NFL.
It's crazy like how bad the franchise is, considering that's probably the greatest team in NFL history.
Yeah.
And yet your franchise has been so bad outside of that span of time. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. So yeah, to continue down kind of the list here. Number 2, we'll go through like the top.
I forgot
10.
Keenan Allen's on the Bears.
Yeah,
Dude, their wide receivers are
they're good,
actually very good.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, actually, depending on how Odunze turns out, one of the better wide receiver rooms.
Man. Yeah.
I think him not being number 1 and having DJ Moore there is going to help him immensely.
Yeah.
But I mean, one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL.
They gave Caleb the keys, man. Like
they did.
He's got some dudes.
Number 2 here, Robbie did actually mention this in the last podcast, and it did end up coming into fruition.
Shefty don't miss, for real.
Jaden Daniels has ended up in Washington. The quarterback from LSU has ended up on the Commanders.
Apparently, he had some issues with his visit with them, and he wasn't happy with how the visit went, and so there are some rumors that he didn't want to end up in Washington. He still ended up in Washington, so...
All these rumors, man, especially circulating around the draft.
You gotta get those clicks, Connor. Gotta get those clicks.
Number 3, a Patriots quarterback, if I've ever seen it, the white boy himself, Drake May, quarterback out of North Carolina.
A lot of people want to hate on Drake May because UNC quarterbacks have not panned out in recent years. Looking at you, Mitchell Trubisky, but
That's the only one you could have been talking about.
I do think that Drake May is better than Trubisky. And now, is he going to be like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? I don't think so, but I do think he'll be a very serviceable quarterback. But
Patriots still need a lot of fucking help.
Their offense is gross.
Yeah, I don't really care who you put at the helm. Like, a first-year quarterback is going to fucking struggle.
They got Ramondre and Antonio Gibson in the backfield.
Yeah, we saw what Ramondre did last year.
Yeah.
Coming off a great, previous year, he sucked.
Yeah, he was hurt.
He sucked.
Yeah. He was hurt.
The whole team sucked.
Number 4, call it a Kyler Marvin connection because Marvin Harrison Jr. has ended up on the Arizona Cardinals, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. To no one's surprise,
this is a prove it year for Kyler. I feel like you now have the weapon. You have him and you have Trey McBride. Like you got to show that you can win some games.
Yep. At number 5 slot, the Los Angeles Chargers selected Joe Alt, offensive tackle from Notre Dame.
Protect Justin Herbert for the love of Christ.
So he can throw it to who?
Yeah, for real.
Everyone's
for real. I think that they probably would have picked Marvin Harrison if he didn't go right there.
100%.
Yeah.
But there's no way. Yeah,
Herbert's going to need 10 seconds in the pocket to be able to find anyone open, so it's a good pick. But
and then he's going to throw it to Quentin Johnson, who's going to drop the ball.
Drop it, yeah, great. Fuck it, Josh Palmer down there somewhere.
Yeah, for real. Josh Palmer might be elite next year. You never know.
Might.
At number 6, another name out of LSU, wide receiver Malik Neighbors ends up on the New York Giants.
I mean, talk about a franchise that has needed a wide receiver for the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Kenny Galladay...
They're still riding out Daniel Jones, baby. He's still the man.
They got Jalen Hyatt last year, too.
Yeah. They just didn't use him
at all. It was crazy.
Remember when Kenny Galladay just gave up? He just stopped
on
playing.
Which team? He's done that 3 different times now.
He just stopped playing football on the Giants. He got paid and then just stopped.
So Sterling Shepard. I mean, it's just a mid-off at the primary.
See, the thing is, I feel like Sterling Shepard could have been a very solid slot 3 receiver on a good team. But
God, I'm so excited to play the Eagles with Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Thank God they lost some good players off their offensive line because.
Moving on here, we got at the number 7 pick, a guy from y'all's alma mater, Alabama, J.C. Latham, going to the Tennessee Titans. A shockingly low number of Bama. I mean, there were still 3 guys drafted in the first round, but it just felt a lot lower, and there wasn't any huge prospect from Bama. It was just kind of interesting this year to not really see that. But he's the first one off the board for.
Last year's team was probably one of our least talented teams we've had in a while, and Nick Saban still willed that team to the college football playoffs.
Yeah, 100% agree. That was our least talented team that we've seen in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Number 8 here, the The pick that everybody is talking about, the pick that is questionable to say the least, the pick that they showed the shot of the GM justifying himself to the owner in the draft room.
Yeah.
Michael Penix Jr. selected, quarterback out of Washington, selected to the Atlanta Falcons.
So it's really simple. Either you wasted a first round pick or you wasted $180 million. Like,
oh God,
which one's better?
Jesus, yeah,
it was 4 year 180.
Hey, it just.
That's an expensive insurance plan for Kirk Cousins. I know the dude's coming off like an Achilles, but then if you're worried about his health, why draft him?
Michael Penix has also torn his Achilles.
No, I know.
He's also 24.
No, he's 26.
Yeah,
he's like 26.
Apologies.
He's old as
pretty
fuck.
sure he's 26.
And we had one of our friends that's a Falcon fan who was coping. He's like, no, this is a good pick. He can sit. He can get ready. Bro, your team sucks. Like, you don't need a backup quarterback.
He was like, yeah, no, the team's made a lot of good moves.
Like, he sounds like me last year, for real. He sounds just like me last year, honestly.
No, you were delusional.
See, but now I have to be. I'm the biggest Falcons fan on the earth now because I have Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix.
Yeah, you were already going to have to be a meat rider with Kirk there, and now they got Michael Penix too.
Like I hate Atlanta, but I love the Falcons. You know what I mean?
He just hates the city of Atlanta.
See, I just hate both. No,
yes. So yeah, it's a questionable pick to say the least. If Penix was younger, I think you could justify it more.
But you don't draft a backup quarterback in the first round unless you're really good. Like the Packers did with Jordan Love because they were a good team.
Yeah.
If you're like making the playoffs and you can win a Super Bowl, then maybe draft a backup quarterback for an older quarterback. I get that.
I don't think Oklahoma State had anybody drafted.
That hurts.
All of our guys are like becoming seniors now. Like every single one of our guys.
No, I know. Like I don't like. I'm searching the draft list. Like Oklahoma State did not have anybody drafted, which is fucking nuts.
It's all right. Ollie's going top 10 next year, so
if he has a good season, which I'm nervous about.
Bro, you brought back the whole offensive line. I mean,
yeah, but everyone knows who he is now. He was so good last year because nobody knew who he was.
Bullshit. By the
coaches watching him on film knew who the fuck he was. What?
Brother, he had 1,000 yards in 4 games at one point. Like, I think people were pretty familiar with this man's game.
I don't think he's going to be bad. I just don't think
the opposing coaches watched y'all's film and said, damn, if we just stop that guy, we're good. They knew exactly who he was.
He's dribbling people's heads off. Like, literally, stop dribbling these guys' heads off.
It's just disrespectful.
Yeah, your quarterback was lost.
At number 9, in terms of the NFL draft, getting back real quick, we have Rome Odunze, a wide receiver out of Washington who is headed to the Chicago Bears. So just strengthening that receiving core even more for Caleb Williams.
He doesn't have an excuse. Oh, wait, he's on the Bears. Never mind. That's his excuse.
DJ Moore is actually going to eat in that offense. Like, it's going to be disgusting.
Another one of the Panthers' donations to other teams.
Listen. Let's break this down. Right? Would you rather have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze, or would you rather have Deontay Johnson, Xavier Legette, and Adam Thielen? Let's be honest here.
The ghost of Adam Thielen.
Xavier Legette.
That's who the Panthers traded.
Yeah, wide receiver out of South Carolina. Bro, The best part about it is this man has the thickest like Carolina accent I've ever heard in my life.
Don't make that face when Robbie says thick, Connor. Don't do that.
I didn't know where he was going, dude.
I wasn't going to talk about his ass like I do Kyle Lowry's, right? That was not where I was going with that.
Damn.
Has got a dump truck on him.
Okay, all right.
Alrighty then.
Next pick.
Number 10 here, quarterback out of Michigan, J.J. McCarthy heading to the Minnesota Vikings.
It's a reach.
You guys hate J.J. McCarthy.
Sucks.
Connor, he did nothing at Michigan. I know he won national championship, but like he didn't do anything.
Didn't he beat you guys?
He did.
I think you're coping. I think you're actually coping.
Actually, Blake
Corum.
Blake Corum beat everybody. Yeah.
He's
the Vikings did need a quarterback. But would you rather have gone with Bo Nix?
He has such a low ceiling. Like he has such a low ceiling.
He is a game manager that they just used a number 10 overall pick on.
His ceiling is Alex Smith.
Brock Purdy, okay. He also
even though he was the last pick in the draft.
Multiple fucking Hall of Famers on that team.
Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson. Who's the new kid? The new guy.
His weapons are great. It doesn't matter. Yeah. His weapons were good at Michigan.
Yeah.
Blake Corum and Roman Wilson both got drafted.
Yeah, and he also knew what signs were coming at Michigan. That's going away, apparently.
Womp womp.
Bro, fuck Harbaugh. The fact that you can do that, just jump. I'm about to get on my soapbox here, but the fact that you could do that,
Yeah,
Michigan has to
really...
fucking pay for it all now, and he gets to jump the NFL and do it have no consequences.
Dude, he didn't know. Dude, he didn't know.
So fucking annoying. I hate him.
Number 11 here, we have Hashanu, offensive. That's his last name. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce his first name. Offensive tackle.
I don't think I nailed that at all.
Offensive tackle out of Penn State, going to the New York Jets. Number 12 here.
Now Aaron Rodgers' Achilles lost for 2 games this year.
Jesus Christ. Cardinals had 12 picks. That's crazy.
The number 12 slot going to the Denver Broncos, out of Oregon, quarterback Bo Nix.
Yay.
Unfortunately, I think he can play fairly well in Sean Payton's system.
Is that a code?
I hate Bo Nix.
I said unfortunately. I'm not thrilled about it, but
Bo Nix is ass. I hate Bo Nix. I hate that guy.
I mean, he did pretty good going up to Oregon. He did way better than I thought he would going up to Oregon.
It's almost like Auburn's the problem or something.
And then at number 13 here, we'll kind of round it out here. Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia, going to the Las Vegas Raiders.
I think he's a good value there, but like you just drafted Michael Mayer.
Yeah.
That's my confusion. I get I think he's a great pick at 13. I think he's going to be fantastic, but I guess you just draft best player available.
There are probably 25 teams in the NFL that could, with their first round pick, could have taken Brock Bowers. I think that would have been a good pick.
Fantasy players in absolute shambles with that pick, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the Raiders blow. Like they suck big time.
I think I'm going to get Kirk and Michael Penix on my team. I think I'm going to get them both on my fantasy team.
Alrighty. Do I draft Bowers this year and just end the Michael
dynasty? That's a hell of a dynasty pick.
Bold of you to assume I'm not going to pick him before you.
Can I put up Kyle Pitts on the trading block? Any interest?
Yikes.
If you trade me a quarterback with Kyle Pitts, I'll give you a first round pick.
At least Kyle Pitts and Drake London.
Quarterback? I think I have a shitter on my team.
They have to be starting for their team.
Is Jimmy Garoppolo starting?
No, he's not.
At least Kyle Pitts, Drake London will have like a quarterback who can throw the ball.
Allegedly a new system.
Yeah,
it's actually the new system is just Arthur Smith with a different mustache.
That man needs to be out of football.
Arthur Smith or
Yeah, I tried to do his name with the letter swap, and I couldn't figure it out in my head, so I didn't go.
Arthur Smith or a cold grilled sheep,
or Surther Amos.
Arthur Smith or God, who's the Panthers coach? They're the old one, the one Matt Rule. Arthur Smith or Matt Rule.
We don't say the bad man's name on the podcast. Let me have this.
He must not be named. All right, we're gonna move on from the NFL draft here.
Do you guys want to talk about the Cowboys pick?
No.
I don't.
I'll talk about Xavier Legette real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Panthers traded up from 33 to 32 to pick Xavier Legette out of South Carolina. The assumption is because if you pick in the first round, you get a 5th-year option on that rookie to keep them around, and you don't in the second round. That's the assumption of why they traded up a pick with the Bills. I think it's very whelming. I think there are other receivers that were just as good. They could have gotten at 33, but they really like the guy apparently, and because I heard him speak now and he sounds like he grew up in the sticks of North Carolina, I'm all on board. So that's my 2 cents there.
I will talk about the Cowboys. Like, we needed an offensive tackle, and like getting an additional 3rd round pick for still what I'm assuming in getting our guy. I think like that's probably the best move Jerry Jones has made in like the last like 3 to 4 years of drafting. So I can't be too upset about it.
And you got Zeke back. I know it's in the thing down there, but we have to talk about it right now.
I want to mention real quick because I think that this is a good pick by them. The Chiefs picking up Xavier Worthy out of Texas. Yeah. That's kind of scary.
Fucking Worthy down there somewhere.
Moving on here, the Chiefs gave tight end Travis Kelce a significant raise with a new 2-year contract yesterday. The deal is reportedly worth $34.25 million, with $17 million fully guaranteed for the season, and most of the rest to be guaranteed on the 3rd day of the 2025 league year.
How much longer do you think Kelce plays?
2 years.
I think this is the remainder of his quote unquote peak.
Correct. If the Chiefs win another Super Bowl in the next 2 years,
yeah,
and he's still playing at the same level. Because like his game is not
Jeez.
really based as much on athleticism. Like he can play
No,
for a
it's not.
while.
Yeah, he just finds open
Like
space.
Oh, he's just so good with Mahomes. Yeah,
yeah,
that too.
they're just so fucking connected. I think he might play longer because he could just. I mean, I think
Yeah.
Like if they win another Super Bowl, could he like start moving into like tight end GOAT category?
He already
already
is
up
in
there.
that. Yeah, he already
No,
is.
I like, but like, how much farther can he separate himself?
I mean, I
Is
guess
more
the
my
question is like how far is he behind statistic wise behind like Tony
Right.
Gonzalez. I think he's still a
Yeah.
good amount behind him, and that's the other thing too is like if he gets through these 2 years and he needs another season or two to catch Tony, then he does it because he's undisputedly the GOAT if he catches Tony in stats.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, especially if he had what? I mean, somehow if they add like 2 more Super Bowl rings, that would be crazy if he
Right.
managed to get like 2 more.
I would be somewhat surprised if Mahomes doesn't win 2 more rings, but
Well, yeah, but like I'm just not sure how much longer. I mean, Mahomes is a lot longer than Kelsey does.
For
I'm just
sure,
saying,
yeah.
Yeah. Moving on here, Ezekiel Elliott re-signed with the Dallas Cowboys.
Zeke and
This
Uncle
might be the
Rico
worst
gonna go
offseason
crazy.
I've ever seen from a
We had
Dallas
no
franchise.
money. We just sat there with our thumbs up our asses and couldn't do anything.
It's
Watch
so
y'all,
bad.
watch y'all be really good next year because like I feel like usually Cowboys fans comes in
For
like the
real.
season with so much hope. Like we made
Yeah.
these signings, we did all this shit, we're gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then this year you did nothing, and now you actually figure it out.
This ESPN article was written by a Dallas homer for sure. We're going down to the third paragraph, and it goes as such, quote, Elliott's return calls to mind Herschel Walker's second stint with the Cowboys.
What? That's top 10 worst takes I've ever heard in my life.
That is an all-time cope. That is like a top 5 cope of all time.
Walker was the Cowboys' leading rusher from 86 to 89 for his famous trade. He returned to the Cowboys in 96 in action behind Emmitt Smith while being the lead.
Hey, we always joke that Cowboys fans are stuck in like the 80s and 90s. That guy's actually stuck there. Like I think that
He
man
can't
just
get out.
came back from the 80s and 90s.
That's
Man, I'm so excited for the three-headed monster of Rico Dowell, Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis, and Ezekiel Elliott.
Hey, Rico Dowdle is a hooper in Madden, so he might be good in real life.
Do
I
the
think
Cowboys get
he's-
1,000 yards on the ground this season?
Yeah.
If Dak gets 400.
This guy.
Damn it.
All right, Miles Sanders and
Whoa. We drafted Jonathan Brooks. Thank you
That's
very
right,
much.
You did draft Jonathan Brooks.
The Carolina Longhorns now, apparently.
Yeah, for real. Moving on here, cornerback Chris Harris Jr., a 4-time Pro Bowl selection in 12 NFL seasons, announced his retirement actually today. So congratulations to him. Hopefully he enjoys his retirement. The last headline here, a little bit, definitely more somber news. Houston Texans wide receiver Tank Dell was among the victims of a shooting at a party venue in Florida. The Texans confirmed in a statement Sunday. I believe he's still recovering, so obviously well wishes to him, and we hope him a speedy recovery. And along with all the other victims, and prayers and thoughts and condolences out to all the families of those affected. So hopefully we get some good.
I didn't even see that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The initial report came out that he like Plexico burst himself, and then that ended up definitely not being true.
No, it was just like it was a shooting at a club. unfortunately.
Report. I think it was a rumor, but I did see that someone was saying that he Plexico burst himself. But
Yeah.
not saying I'm glad that's the case because a lot of other people got shot, and that's very sad. But
Yeah.
that is not the case.
So transitioning to the next thing here, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, which was a previously scheduled boxing fight with a lot of interesting kind of scenarios around it and weird factors, has now just been officially scheduled as a professional bout and will count towards their professional records. It is being officially sanctioned as a professional boxing match. Mike Tyson is like 60.
I was just looking up
57, I believe.
Really? I thought he was in his 60s.
Mike Tyson's also 50-6 in his boxing career.
Yeah.
Why are you putting that why are you
15-7
putting that up?
incoming.
Yeah, why are you putting that up against like a guy that's 40 years younger than you? Like I know it's Mike Tyson and he's 57.
Okay. Nice.
I
It'll be interesting.
It's gonna be a pay-per-view fucking monster. I don't
Yeah,
know who's
dude,
sponsoring
now
that,
that
but that's
it's
gonna make
now
so
that
much
it's
money.
sanctioned, that just added a fucking zero to their fucking paychecks.
It's, might break records in terms of pay-per-view orders.
Like no headgear. Like
Nope. It's
like
a professional, yeah.
because you're gonna get all the old heads in boxing.
I'm gonna fucking pay for it. That's gonna be
you're gonna
gross.
get you're gonna get fucking everyone our age is gonna watch it to either watch Jake Paul get knocked out
Yeah.
or try to watch Jake Paul win the fight because he has
Which
his
is going to be
fanboys.
like crazy. Yeah.
It's gonna be just
8
nuts.
2-minute rounds with each fighters using 14-ounce gloves.
Is that a standard glove? I assume
Yes.
so.
Yeah, it is.
Tyson hasn't won a professional boxing match as a knockout win in 2003.
So we're getting together to watch
He's
this.
50-6 with 44 knockouts.
Where's the fight?
It's at AT&T Stadium.
Is it actually?
It's actually at
Tyson
AT&T
will be
Stadium.
58 when the fight takes place.
That's
Ryan, it's an AT&T Stadium.
well, it's gonna be
Brother.
in Vegas. I know you want to go to Vegas, Connor. So I was gonna say we'd go out for the fight.
It's true. It's also on a Saturday, so we could get together at some point, and we might be able to make this happen. That'd be definitely an interesting watch.
It's crazy. Saturday, July 20th.
We should film that and like record our reactions. We should watch it together. That'd be funny. That'll be wild. That'll be really interesting. Moving on to the next thing here, not necessarily sports related, but we did cover it last week, and there has been a follow up. It actually happened today when we were recording.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar has officially responded to Drake's diss track "Push Ups" with his own diss track entitled "Euphoria." Robbie, you've listened to it and you've kind of studied some of the lyrics, so we're gonna hear from you here.
Yeah, it's definitely still just another jab, and there are a lot of comments from Kendrick in there still kind of saying you don't want to do this. Like I know things, you don't want to do this. But I did appreciate like Kendrick went at Drake, and he went at specifically Drake and no one else. I feel like Drake felt like he had these shots coming in from everywhere and kind of gave everyone their little bit of time on his track. But Kendrick pretty much came out and said, "It's me and you. Let's do this." I'm sure Drake will respond. There were definitely some good bars. I know I sent you guys the one. You think rap's my whole life, but I got a son to take care of. You wouldn't know nothing about that. It's tough.
Yeah,
I like the line too. Kendrick's in Drake's original response, he said, "What is this, a 1v20?"
20v1,
or 20v1. Kendrick's like, "No, this isn't a 20v1, it's a 1v20 with all your writers. I don't know if I'm finding ghosts or AI."
That's kind of crazy.
That
Crazy
bar
bar.
goes hard.
That was a good one at the end.
Makes me hard.
It was a good track. I think it's still very much a jab. No one's gone for the haymaker yet. I don't know if they will. I kind of think there's gonna be one of those things that keep throwing little shots back and forth. I don't think either of them will bring out the big guns in this, but we'll see.
No, like Eminem, Ray Benzino kind of.
It's not gonna be Pusha T Drake. There's a line in there too about
Pusha T, right?
Yeah, maybe you should stop pushing P and try to push T or something like that. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So it was a good track. I enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend. It's like 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
He also makes fun of like the Toronto accent at the end of it too, which is pretty funny.
It is fucking abysmal. I hate the
or whatever the fuck.
I need some Max Ween.
Yeah,
I need the Max Ween.
Give it a listen, but we'll see if Drake responds and maybe takes the first real swing at someone. So,
all right, gents, we are getting into
fuck up and make some drums.
Shut your hoe ass up.
Make some drums.
We're going to get to our last thing here. We are doing a bracket. If you were with us last week, you know that we did an NBA bracket based on the last 16 NBA champions, and we put them head-to-head in a bracket and decided who would win amongst those. So, gentlemen, I've compiled a bracket today, and I have done appropriate seeding this time based on their regular season records. So the NFL is a little weird in terms of, because obviously the regular season is played in the year prior, and then the Super Bowl happens on the year after, so it's like 23 to 24 or whatever. So it's a little weird, and because you refer to them as like, when you say the 2023 Chiefs, is it like the 2022 to you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. So I've given the 2 years that it's happened in order to just, if you guys need to look up the rosters or whatever. So are we ready for this first matchup that we have?
Yeah, I know who the 1 seed is, but
number 1 seed is the 2016 to 2017 New England Patriots.
Oh yeah, so we're not quite going back to 08. Okay.
Yeah, it's 1 year after. Yeah, it's one exactly. So the 2016 to 2017 New England Patriots versus the 2011 to 2012 New York Giants.
I mean, let's be real. The Giants have the Patriots number in the Super Bowl for whatever reason, but
I don't care.
Yeah,
I was gonna.
I don't think it matters in this case.
Excellent sentiment. Don't care.
Yeah,
I think if you play back those 2 Super Bowls the Giants won, if you played each of them 10 times, the Patriots win them each 9 times.
Probably. That's probably
like
correct.
legitimately.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the Patriots here. Second matchup, an 8 seed and a 9 seed. 2008 to 2009 Pittsburgh Steelers versus the 2014 to 2015 New England Patriots.
So that's the Santonio Holmes toe drag Steelers.
against the Larry Fitz and the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'd go with the Pats here. You guys agree?
Okay.
I'd
Yep.
probably do the same against the defending Super Bowl winning Seahawks.
Say again.
The Seahawks are going for the repeat.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 23rd, next matchup, we have 5-12, 2013 to 2014 Seattle Seahawks. Those Seahawks and Ryan just mentioned, and the 2018 to 2019 New England Patriots.
Seahawks win that game. That Seahawks team was just, I mean, they just ran through Peyton Manning.
Yeah. The 13-4 matchup, the latest Super Bowl winning 2023 to 2024 Kansas City Chiefs versus the 2009 to 2010 New Orleans Saints, who are a force who won 13 games in the regular season.
What was the year? What was the first year? I'm sorry.
This past year.
Chiefs.
Yeah, this year's Chiefs. God, Mahomes is so good
if the Saints defense was
That's
better,
tough.
I would be leaning towards the Saints, but like those Saints teams and defense didn't really go together. They also let Devin Hester take one back to the house in that game. If I'm not, that was against the.
That was Bears Colts. That was
Bears Colts. Sorry, my apologies.
Right, that whole season was like a storybook thing for the Saints. Right,
Yeah.
like you're just like the Katrina team, pretty much.
I mean, you look at the names and it just doesn't match up. I mean, you have Breeze, Mike Bell. Like some of these guys are just not. Dude, Mahomes is just. Yeah, I'd go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that defense doesn't slow down Mahomes, and the Chiefs' defense this year was phenomenal.
Yeah, 100%. This is kind of a fun one just because I think both these teams were relatively fun, but I don't know if it's particularly close. The 2017 to 2018 Philadelphia Eagles versus the 2012 to 2013 Baltimore Ravens. In terms of I think it's the Eagles. I just don't think the Ravens.
I mean, but like that Eagles team just got Nick Foles at the height of his career, who just suddenly went nuclear after not really having it. I mean, Carson Wentz was great until he got hurt that year. But if you're playing that Eagles team with Nick Foles in the playoffs, like he just put it together somehow. But like if they play that back again, they're not winning the Super Bowl.
I agree. I go Ravens here.
All right, wow, that's a big upset. It's a 14-3. I think the Eagles had 14 wins in the regular season there, so that's a big upset.
Don't care.
2020 to 2021 Bucks and the 2019 to 2020 Chiefs. The Chiefs the Chiefs are healthy. The Chiefs, because you have Tyreek, and I think you got to go the Chiefs there. To be totally honest.
Yeah, I think I just go Chiefs.
Yeah, I agreed.
I think that was the year that Mahomes dislocated his knee and had to miss a couple games and whatnot.
Yeah, Hunter said it was like when the playoffs they had no offensive line.
Yeah, because of COVID and stuff. 2015 to 2016 Broncos versus the 2021 to 2022 Rams.
I mean, the ghost of Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Von Miller was single-handedly winning that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What was the year for the
the Broncos?
Yeah, Broncos.
2016. I know. I fucking know that one.
I think this one's super close.
I do too.
Because
they beat the Bungles.
Dude, the Rams defense that year was real good. Between Wagner and
Peyton would have been in trouble with the pass rush.
Yeah, dude, Aaron Donald would have eaten his lunch.
Yep.
I'd probably go Rams. Just for that point, I'd probably go Rams.
But Peyton was barely. I mean, he was just there. He wasn't really doing a whole lot.
Ramsey's still there too, so you got the star corner. It's kind of
I mean, the Broncos had a pretty stout defense too.
For sure.
Von Miller was leading prime Von Miller and company.
I think people already. I think people kind of already overlook how freaking good Cooper Kupp was that season.
Yeah,
he broke every record. So even with that defense, I still think the Rams pulled out.
We can go Rams. It's against a pretty good Bengals team too.
Last first round matchup: the 2010 to 2011 Green Bay Packers and the 2022 to 2023 Kansas City Chiefs.
The problem is it's these Chiefs teams that have won recently are not as good as the ones that won initially.
Yeah,
but Mahomes is just so fucking good that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what gets me every time. Because I think about these Chiefs, I'm like, oh, they're not that good. Because compared to when they're for like, especially that 2019, 2020 team, like they were so fucking good.
Yeah.
And like, obviously they're still very good. They just won back-to-back Super Bowls. But like, to me, like, oh, they're not as good in my head just by winning back-to-back. But yeah, I think it's still the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That was a 10-6 Green Bay team.
Correct. Yeah.
That won
They
that
were
Super
10-6.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they were the 15 seed. The only team on this list that had a worse record than them was the 2011 to 2012 Giants, who were
I was about to say, it's
9.
back-to-back years that like the last team in the playoffs from the NFC
Right.
won
Yep.
the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Moving on to the second round here, it's the matchup of the same team, different years. 2016 to 2017 New England Patriots and the 2014 to 2015 New England Patriots.
What's the fucking difference? I literally
I mean, isn't the 2016 was the ones that the 28-3 Falcons?
correct.
Yeah.
Was that when Edelman started becoming? Because Edelman wasn't there 2014, 2015.
Yeah, Edelman was on that 2016 team.
And then the 2014 was the
Malcolm Butler. Do we just go for the Malcolm Butler team? I feel like they had a better defense.
Both of those, I mean, that's the crazy thing to think about is like they probably should have lost both of those games.
Yeah.
Like very reasonably. Like if you fucking run Marshawn Lynch,
Damn, that scared me.
if you run Marshawn Lynch in the red zone, the Seahawks probably win that game.
Yeah.
And if the Falcons don't commit the largest choke job potentially in the history of sports,
Yeah.
they win that game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 14-2 Pats team against the Seahawks. Or the Falcons, excuse me.
I think that team was better than the team that beat the Seahawks.
I
So
would have to agree.
16, 17?
Yeah.
Okay. Next matchup here. This one's kind of interesting. I think I actually know where
that's when Brady was suspended after Deflategate too.
Deflategate. Yeah, that's what I was about. Yeah, that
4
does
games,
sound right.
4-game suspension.
Next one here. This one's kind of interesting. 2013 to 2014 Seahawks versus the most recent Kansas City Chiefs. I kind of want to go Seahawks. I'm not
Bro,
gonna lie.
Legion of Boom versus Patty. With,
I'd love to see that. That'd
with
be a
fuck
fun
all
game.
at receiver.
Yeah,
exactly. I kind of want to go Seahawks. I feel like this
Fucking Cam Chancellor would be ringing Travis Kelce's bell.
Yeah, you literally just put Cam Chancellor in Travis Kelce's asshole the entire game.
Yeah.
And then Richard Sherman covers, I guess, Rashee Rice. Like, does it really matter?
Yeah.
You let Mecole Hardman run whatever routes MVS, not Mecole.
MVS runs 4 vert with Kadarius Toney, and
let's go Seahawks. Yeah,
I think Legion Boom gives them trouble.
Yeah.
2012 to 2013 Ravens versus 2019 to 2020 Chiefs. Like it's not even close.
We're not giving Flacco the win over fucking Patrick Mahomes. I'm just not
disrespect.
I'm just not doing it.
2021 to 2022 Rams versus 2022 to 2023 Chiefs. Probably.
Man, I don't hear a single mention of Cowboys on this whole list.
We're Panthers.
Panthers were in a Super Bowl. God damn it!
Do we just go Chiefs again?
I'm getting confused on the Chief teams.
I am too.
I'm a casual. Apparently.
That's someone without Tyreek. That was one of the ones without Tyreek.
I say Chiefs. Fuck them.
Well, okay. Yeah, then we have 2 Chiefs in the semifinals, which is fine because the Rams will play the Chiefs anyways.
I mean, those are dynasty teams, yeah.
Yeah. So for the Final Four, our first matchup here is the 2016 to 2017 New England Patriots and the 2013 to 2014 Seattle Seahawks. That's brutal. That's actually really hard. Oh, man.
Because similar to the Chiefs, these like mid 2010s Patriots teams do not hold a candle to like the late 2000s, or sorry, Patriots teams do not hold a candle to the late 2000s Patriots teams.
Yeah.
Like I know that 08 team lost in the Super Bowl, but like that 08 team beats the brakes off the 15-16 Patriots.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, that Legion of Boom team is so good. Like, I'm kind of tempted to go. God, but it's Brady. It's the same argument as Mahomes. He's just there.
Yeah.
Shoot. I'm tempted to go Seahawks here. To be totally, I feel like they're more complete as a team defensively and offensively.
Patriots team.
I mean, that was they beat the piss out of the Broncos.
Yeah, no, it was fucking.
I mean, it was
awful.
over. I mean, I think the first point scored was like a safety or something. I mean, it was like
It was like a snap over or snap below.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning's feet. Yeah,
Dude, I kind of want to go Seahawks.
that team was nasty. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
it
Fuck
was.
the Patriots.
Yep, let's do it. Like, moving on. Next one we have the 2019 to 2020 Chiefs and the 2022 to 2023 Chiefs. The difference is Tyreek is not on the 23.
Yeah,
2022,
it's the team. The team with Tyreek is better.
Team of the Greek, if you will.
Yeah.
All right, in our finals, we have Legion of Boom 2013 to 2014 Seahawks.
Go
and
Boom!
2019 to 2020 Kansas City
That
Chiefs.
is fucking awesome.
This would be an insane game.
Yeah. The Chiefs defenses are not as good at this time.
No.
But also
the
it's Patrick Mahomes, and then somewhere down here is Russell Wilson. Yeah. I mean I know
he wasn't that bad at that point.
This time, but but he's not fucking Mahomes.
Dude, but and I don't know if any of the Legion Boom guys saw anyone like as fast as Tyreek was.
Did. Nobody has.
That's what I mean. It'd be interesting to see how they would have to adjust to his speed.
I mean, I think Sherm just tries to jam him as much as possible. It's kind of hard because he's so fucking fast.
Yeah, Chancellor's backing up, I guess.
I almost think Tyreek keeps Chancellor back enough that either you let Tyreek run by you or Travis Kelce's just running laps around you underneath.
Yeah, God,
because Chancellor can't play up.
Bobby Wagner would be shadowing Kelsey all game.
Yeah.
That's a mismatch.
Yeah, for
Bobby Wagner's a great player, but he's not. I mean, not pass coverage like that.
Obviously, Kelsey presents like mismatches for fucking any linebacker core.
This is true. Yeah.
Oh, God, that would be such a good game. That'd be such a fun game to watch.
Like I said, I mean, that Chiefs defense was not as good as it is now.
Yeah.
Russ is trying to cook.
But it is potentially one of the best offenses,
ever.
Yeah.
It's Mahomes.
Is it not statistically the best offense ever? It's up there, right?
Probably, I would guess. And Mahomes is just finds a way to win a Super Bowl every time he's in it. Frick, this is hard. We got to choose a winner, though.
It's really hard to bet against. I can't bet against the Chiefs.
I'm kind of with you. Unfortunately, I really want to go Seahawks, but I can't bet against that offense, that Mahomes and.
Yeah, that Chiefs team averaged the most yards per game and points per game.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Then they got embarrassed by Tampa Bay the next year, but we're not thinking about that.
That wasn't their fault, though. They didn't have any of their starters.
Line was just decimated.
Yeah. We're going to go Chiefs there. We're going 19 to 22.
I agree.
Probably some recency bias, but
maybe, yeah. The number 6 seeded 2019 to 2020 Chiefs end up with the victory. Some of the seedings were interesting here, just in terms of seeing all the regular season success.
And they didn't win the Super Bowl, but 2007, 2008 Pats, the best modern team ever.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. We were 1 year off from kind of that area. But yeah,
they didn't win the Super Bowl.
No, I know. I was just saying we were off from 1 year off from that Super Bowl champ, anyways. But yeah, so that was a fun bracket. I'll definitely put something together of a similar. I don't know if you guys would be I wouldn't have enough knowledge to. Would you guys have enough knowledge to do the World Series winners from the last 16 years?
Yeah.
If you guys think so, then I will put that together, and that'll be our bracket for next week.
There's gonna be a lot of Giants on there. A lot of Giants. Yep.
We could have had 3 Rangers on there. We just have 1.
You got 1.
At least we got 1.
We got 1.
No, I wouldn't be greedy like that. We were going to
2.
lose to the Giants. That Giants team was better.
You're right. We should have beat the Cardinals. Yes, you're correct. That Giants team. Who was that pitcher? I always forget his name.
Lincecum.
There it is. Lincecum, yeah.
And then they had the Bumgarner year where he just Madison Bumgarner just fucking destroyed everyone.
Yeah.
I remember he pitched I think he started game 6, won the game, and then came out on game 7 against the Royals.
All hands are on fucking deck, man.
And pitched 3 shutout innings. It's just fucking nuts.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Your arm could fall off the next day because
Yeah, literally. Tommy John surgery scheduled the next day, but you go down and win the damn World Series.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's all I have, gents. If someone wants to outro us.
Absolutely. For myself, Ryan and Connor, thank you again for listening in to another great episode of the Bros and the Berg podcast. Please go subscribe, follow, all of those things on all social medias. We really appreciate it. Let us know in the comments any content you want to see. And please gamble responsibly.
Say it.